Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you.
Good evening.
You too. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. So we're going to what? Chet is the next one?
And Bet Yosef?
Yeah.
No, Zion.
Zion, got it. Okay. So yeah, we did Vav. You're right. We did Vav. Now we're going to Zion. Umashma b'divrei Arosh, right? It's in the Bet Yosef. No tour over there. The tour is already finished. It's gone. So we're going to start with the Bet Yosef right away. You got it, this one?
Mm-hmm.
So it says Mashma b'divrei Arosh. It's Mashma from the words of the Rosh. The lo bainan kli netilat yadayim. We don't need a kli for netilat yadayim. Shachrit and shachrit. Ki hechi de bainan netilat yadayim b'seuda. Just like we need for the seuda. Chen katuv b'agat Mordechai. Perek elu devarim. Also in the Mordechai, right? So v'chen katav Aran. V'resh perek kol basar. So you see, right? All these Rishonim they hold. You don't need a kli. You don't need a vessel for netilat yadayim in the morning. Also other things which prevent netilat yadayim, the seuda for the seuda. You don't need it for the morning. Why is that? Because this netilat yadayim is only for nekiyut. Right? But Shuvat Rashba, according to Rashba, I'm sorry, cleanliness. But in the Tshuva of the Rashba, katuv shenishal lema tiknu brachat netilat yadayim b'shachrit. So Rashba says, why did they make the blessing of Netilat Yadayim Shachrit? Ve'shiv ivra kach nahagu bechol makom levarech v'shachrit on Netilat Yadayim. So it's this minhag. Custom is that they bless Shachrit Netilat Yadayim everywhere. U'makpidin bechol tanai Netilat kibashat seudah. And they do just like what they do with seudah. So what does that mean? He says that you have to do all the things like seudah. So he disagrees with the Rosh and the other Rishonim that we saw, right? The Ran and all that. Mordechai. ואני לא מצאתי בשום מקום דבר ברור שיצטרך אדם ליטול ידיו שחרית. So he says, I really don't have any source that a person has to wash his hands in the morning. דהם משום שבטה ובת מלך. If you're going to tell me it's because of ruach ra, but this bat melech is like a ruach ra that comes. So he says, די ברחיצה, you can just do wash, you can wash. That's good enough. והם משום תפילת קריאת שמע. If you're going to tell me it's because of קריאת שמע and the prayers, you can do either a washing or nikayon afar, or wash with clean with dirt, with sorot and with pebbles, whatever. Like we say in the Gemara that what do we need to wash with water? It says cleanliness, not water. So cleaning is what we need. Anything which cleans. Also it says in brachot, tetvav amud aleph over there in the Gemara. Rav Chasta light aman de mehadar amaya. So it says Rav Chasta used to curse somebody if he was looking for water. In other words, go and pray. Don't look for water. If you don't have it, don't go around searching for it. Just go and pray. Clean yourself. Do some cleaning. Clean your hands and go. Ela beidan tzilota. But it says except for prayers. Ela sheyesh li ktsat dimdumei raya. I'm sorry. This is the Rashba. The Rashba is saying, right, that this Gemara says that Rav Chazda would curse anyone who looked around for water for prayers. So what does that mean? If you don't have it with you handy, don't look for it. Don't waste your time. Go and pray. Just clean your hands. Clean it and go.
Rabbi, I missed what you said about it after but.
Right, but melech, yeah, right, this whole thing, yeah.
He says you can just wash. What does he mean? No clean?
He means that. Well, okay, let's clarify that, okay? If you asked about it, the truth is, we're gonna probably get into this a little bit later on, but there's two things going on, with Netilat Yadayim in the morning. There's two types of ruach ra that come on you. Okay, there's the one that comes on you when you sleep. Okay, so this comes on you if you sleep only. That's the only time it happens. There's another one, this Bat Melech guy, that's a different kind of ruach ra that comes on you when the morning arrives. Amud Shachar. So that guy, the Bat Melech guy, this guy is a different creature. He's a different thing altogether. So it's two different things, you know what I mean? So now he's talking about that guy, the ruach ra, Bat Melech, that comes in the morning, not when you sleep. You know what I mean? That's why you should know, by the way, I was asked this question several years ago. That it's a very good question, by the way. If you get up early in the morning, right, and you want to study, it's not even morning yet, it's night, like late night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that, right? It's not morning yet. 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it's not yet dawn. So the question is, what do you do with your hands? Do you have to do netilat yadayim or not? Or what's it in, right? So the truth is that the Achronim, they say that since you slept, right, and you got up early, even though it's not morning yet, all the Achronim, they say you should wash your hands and make a bracha, netilat yadayim, even though it's still night. Yeah, with the bracha. So, but the thing is like this, right, that when the morning comes, right, when the dawn comes, now you've got this other issue, the Bat Melech thing, right? So this Bat Melech comes on you because it's morning. So now you got to wash your hands again. You understand? So there's a question that comes up, by the way, did you bless for that one or not? Because you already blessed for the other one. So most of the Acharim say that for the second one, you shouldn't bless. Just watch without a blessing. Whatever. So, okay, it's an interesting thing. So that's what he's talking about here. So what he's saying is the Rashba is that Bat Melech, that ruach ra that comes on you in the morning, you don't really need a cup for that. You could just wash your hands in the sink, whatever, something like that, right? So, okay, let's get back to our discussion. So it's important to know these things. The truth is there's a lot of issues going on with all these things. So anyway, right? By the way, what the Rashba says that, it's enough just to wash your hands. He was not he didn't learn Zohar and, stuff like this. Arizal, he didn't see the Zohar, the Rishonim, they didn't see the Zohar. They didn't know about the Arizal, so they didn't really have, some of them, didn't really know Kabbalah very clearly, the things, So it could be that he's mistaken, by the way, regarding that. According to Kabbalah, maybe you do need, to wash with a kli. Mm-hmm. But anyway, right, whatever it is, he holds it not. So I don't know where he gets that from, by the way. I'm not really sure what his source is. But okay, whatever, we'll hold off on that. We'll get back to that later a little bit. So let's go on. Says I do have some sort of a source that we should do netilat yadayim in the morning, with a kli, b'shacha in the morning. We might be amin on the perek kol habasar, regarding what we said in this perek in Chulin. Kuf dal amud bet. Notel adam yadav shachrit. The person should wash his hands in the morning. Umatnei alehem, and he makes a condition. Right? There's a gemara like this. Kol hayom kulo, klomar. In other words, he makes a condition. He's saying that I'm going to watch myself, all day. That I shouldn't get my hands dirty. So that washing in the morning, like accompanies him all day. There's a concept like this in halakha. If you make a condition in the morning, this washing is going to accompany me all day. So what that means is I'm going to be careful not to touch anything which is tumah, whatever. So in a case like that, he doesn't need to wash again the whole day. There's a concept like this.
For prayer.
I'm sorry?
For prayer.
For anything. For anything, right. Exactly, yeah. So, there is such a concept like this. What time is Shulchan Aruch as well? Nobody does it today, Nobody does this today. I don't think we could be even careful about it, we're absent-minded. So I'm not really sure if we're even capable of doing that. You know what I mean? Watching ourselves like that. Okay, whatever. But anyway, getting back to what we said, we're going to get that later on the Simanim. It's going to talk about those things. But anyway, right? Right. So it says he makes a condition that washing in the morning should go for him, even for seudah. It's going to have later on. But it says when it comes to eating, we need the tilat. Kamar notel yadav shachrit, right? That says, since it says that you have to wash your hands in the morning, at least you got to wash your hands one time. Mashma de'achi kamar. So it implies that this is what he says. That he does in the morning, יכול להתנות, he can make a condition, שתעלה לכל היום. It's going to help him all day. I'm going to accompany him all day. Hi, how are you? Okay, so
The Nutella does. I'm sorry. Did you say the Nutella does all day?
he washes his hands in the morning,
Okay.
and that goes with him all day, right?
When
No
he
more
makes-
washing.
When it makes a condition.
That means he thinks, like this. He has a thought or says, right, that I'm going to be careful, right, not to get anything dirty in my hands, no tuma, and this way, right, this washing will be for the whole day. Incredible, right? Have you heard this before?
No.
For a lot of people, it's big news.
Can you do it?
I'm sorry?
Are you able to do
Technically
it?
speaking, you could. We're going to get to that, by the way, later on. The siman, we're going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about that. It's one of the simanim in the Orach Chaim. So anyway, right, this is the way it goes. So there's a Rashba. You see from there, right? He's trying to find a raya, a source to prove to you that you do need to netilah with a cup in the morning, because we said, according to Rosh, you don't need it,
For tefillah.
even for everything. In other words, you don't need it at all. You don't need a cup. And you should know, by the way, that's the way Paskins in the Shulchan Aruch. In the Shulchan Aruch Paskins, you don't need a cup. So why do we use a cup? Because of the Kabbalah. We use it because of the Zohar Kadosh. But according to the Pshat, you don't need the cup. Understand? So what's a nafkamina? Nafkamina is if you don't have a cup, you should wash without a cup. 2-3 times onto the sink. Boom, 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 like this, right? And you make the bracha netilat yadayim. Some say you shouldn't make the bracha because it's a safek. Whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever, right? But the point is, right, that if you don't have a cup, then you have to go and pray. There's no time now. It's like games. So you gotta go. So to wash without a cup 3 times. That's the way to do it.
3 times is enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The 3 times is enough.
We said it right. We said already yesterday, right? They have to do 3 times in order to, because that ruach ra is a very stubborn one. It doesn't come off until the 3rd one.
That
Right.
was Kabbalah too.
That what?
That was Kabbalah too.
That what? That
The 3 times.
yeah, but it's brought in the Talmud. This whole thing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Okay, this is not a Kabbalistic thing. It is and it isn't. It's everywhere. It's there. It's here. It's everywhere. So okay, so the Rashba is still looking for a source. To come up that we need a cup in the morning. Because as we said, right, most post Rishonim hold that you don't need a cup. So, משמע דאחי כמה באותה נטילת שנותן לאדם ידיו שחרית, יכול להתנות שתעלה לכל היום, ואפילו לאכילה, even for eating. ועוד אמינם פרק היה קורא, also we said in different places in ברכות, ט"ו עמוד א', הנוטל ידיו ומניח תפילין, if a person washes his hands in the morning. You find it, Yonatan?
Yeah.
Help him out if you need it. So it says, Ve'od aminan perek haya koreh, right? We said over there in brachot, hanotel yadav u'maniach tefillin, he washes his hands and puts on tefillin, the koreh kriyat shema, and says kriyat shema, zohi kabbalat ol malchut shamayim shlema. This is like accepting ol malchut shamayim, right? Completely. As we mentioned this before. The kamar notel yadav, since it says notel yadav, velo kamar rochetz yadav, doesn't say wash your hands, right? Kemo she'amar be'erev Shabbat, like it says in Shabbat, Masechet Shabbat Kaf Yamud Bet. It says over there you should wash, right? Mashma dechora, so it's mashma from the word notel, as we said, right? Notel means what? Natla, right? Natla is the cup. Right? So notel implies that you need a cup, right? As we said, that kli is called natla, whatever it's called, right? Atla, natla, whatever, right? Today in Hebrew they call natla. That's what they call it today. Natla, yeah, the washing cup.
Doesn't that mean like lifting?
Yeah, or taking, yeah. Right, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Good. That's the shortish of the word. Yes, that's the root. Okay, so let's go on. If you ask me, so if you don't tell me I need to clean in the morning, right? What's the difference between the morning and in mincha arbit? Why mincha arbit I don't need a kli, as we said, right? For mincha arbit you don't need a kli. Just use a sink. So then why do you need it in the morning? So says the Rashba, right? Yesh lomar lefi shebeshachar anu nasim kivya chadasha. So it says we're like a new creation in the morning, So we need cleansing. I don't know what do you want to call it, right? Dichtiv chadashim v'divkarim. It says in the pasuk like this, Okay, oh, interesting. Okay, רבה אמונותיך, צריכים אנו להודות לו להתברך ואין לנו לכבודו בשעתו. We have to thank Hashem that He created us to serve His, do His service, right, for His honor. לשעתו, to serve Him, וברך בשמו, to bless in His name. ועל דבר הזה, says the Rashba, because of this, תקנו בשחר, they made a takana in the morning, כל אותם הברכות, those blessings that we make, the blessings of the morning, ברכת השחר, שאנו מברכים בכל בוקר, that we do every morning, ובוקר. ולפיכך, אנו צריכים להתקדש בקדושתו, so therefore we have to sanctify ourselves, right? וליטול ידינו, we have to wash our hands, מן הכלי, from the כלי. ככהן, like a כהן, שמקדש ידיו מן הכיור, that he washes from the basin, right, in the בית המקדש. So over there, right, there was a kli involved there. קודם עבודתו, before the עבודה, עד כאן לשונו, right? וכן דת רבי דוד אבודריהם. So these Rishonim, this is the way they hold. This is the reason why you need to use a cup in the morning. So as we said, right now, getting back to what we said, we have three reasons why we wash in the morning. One is because of Ruach Ra, right? One is because the Rosh said you're touching your body, right? When you're sleeping, you know, the sweaty parts of your body. Number three is because of Bria Chadasha. This is the Rashba. So these are the three reasons that we have that we wash our hands in the morning.
So the third reason was because
Bria Chadasha, you're a new creation in the morning. You know, you have to thank Hashem that you were created to serve your Creator.
And is this also the answer when asked the question, the difference between Shacharit, Mincha, and Arvi?
Right, that's exactly what he's saying, right? That this is the reason why we don't need a cup of Mincha Arvit and we do need a cup in the morning. Because Mincha Arvit, you're not a new creation, right? You're just an old, tired one from the whole day, right? Old and tired. That's all you are. Okay, good. So,
can we technically say that we say that nighttime is sort of like a new day? So
good. That's a good question. So the truth is, the day starts in the night. That's it's true what he's saying, right? So wow, what about that? So the answer is, that even though the day starts in the night, but since we're sleeping and getting up, that's for us the newness, comes from there. Because a person, when he sleeps, he's like dead. His neshama goes up, and part of him dies, whatever. So it's like it's coming in like fresh and new. Not so Mincha Arvit, right? It's a new day, but you're not new. You're the same old guy you were in the morning. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
The thing with the kli, right? The kior they had in the Beit HaMikdash.
Yes.
Before they go
yes.
into service. But back then they did not have faucets.
Ooh.
Right? And in the time of the Gemara, they did not have it.
Oh, you mean like running water? That's what you're talking about? Yeah, they didn't have running water. There was a big basin. There was a big cauldron there, it was holding the water. It was coming out of there.
Right.
That's the way it was, yeah.
For us, is it still necessary?
That what?
They did not like the kli.
Oh. Okay, so why wouldn't it be necessary? What's the reason?
Like even for shacharit.
Why would you say that?
Why can't we just do 3 times without
Oh, I see what you mean.
in the morning?
But what are you trying to say, that the sink is a kli? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's not, but they did not have another option like that. Right. But today
yeah, but no, I'll tell you what they could do, right? They had like that, as we said, right? They had a big cauldron of water, right? Tub of water. And when they had it like a, like a little, the spout. So they would open it up and, they could wash like that. So it's really the same thing as we're doing.
Okay, they did.
Right, because they needed a cup. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing, right? You need a cup for that, yeah. Otherwise, you could just go without a cup. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course, yeah. So regarding that, nothing really has changed. It's the same story. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same, yeah. So, okay, so right? Oh, so now, right? And also he wrote, so how do we know Rabbi David Abudrahem also agrees with the Rashba? Because he said that it has to be coming koach adam. So that's, by the way, answering your question as well, right? To get exactly what you asked, which is, right, that what? When you open up the sink, it's not koach adam. What is it? Nobody's spilling it on you. It's just coming by itself. You're just opening up the pathway. And so it's like grama. That's called grama, indirect causation. You're just opening the pathway for it to come. But when you actually spill it from the cup, it's like koach adam, coming from the person. So it says, you need that a person spilled it on you, not not just comes from drawing the water, from a different place or whatever, or gravity, right? Gravity, right? Whatever.
That's why I heard it. If you don't have a clean, and you need to do just like the sink, you should at least not go like this, like open, on, turn it off, open again. So each time go up and down, like 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I never heard that, but I don't know where you got that from. But
I don't know.
if you know the source, let me know. It's interesting. I haven't seen that, by the way. I haven't seen it. Okay, interesting. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Doesn't it make sense with the go up and down?
It kind of does. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It kind of does what you're saying, what you're saying. But the truth is, according to the Rosh, which is the other opinion, and the Ran, they say you don't need a kli at all. So, in other words, according to them, you don't need nothing. According to this opinion, you need koach hadam. But according to them, you don't need.
And what's the bottom line?
Oh, what's the That's a good question. Okay. The bottom line is that, as we said, right, when you wake up in the morning, you should use a kli. Why? Because we want to be Yotzei Yedei Chovah, even the Kabbalah, it says you need a kli. And the Rashba, right, also, as we said, right, this is the rabbis. And if you don't have one, you can rely on the pshat, and use the sink, So if you want to do it that way, I don't know, whatever. I never heard this before, but anyway, right? For sure, according to the opinion of the Rosh, you don't need that. You close it and open.
Rabbi, can you wash for somebody else?
I'm sorry?
Can you wash for somebody else?
What does that mean?
Like you pour all the water.
So the rule is like this, okay? Somebody can wash you, but only if he already washed. But if he didn't wash himself, he shouldn't wash you. Because this is not the proper, we're gonna see that later on. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now I was gonna say, what if Chas v'shalom, a guy, both of his arms are broken, or one of his is broken?
Yeah.
Would the halacha change?
No, first he should wash his hands, that guy, and then help you. First do yourself, and then help your friend.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I thought you were talking the other way around. My mistake.
Okay, that's the idea. Okay, good. So that's Zayin. Let's go to Shulchan Aruch.
Rabbi, for so that's the same thing.
That what?
First you do yourself and the other person.
Oh, the truth is, for Seudah, you don't need that. You don't really need that for Seudah. We never heard that for Seudah. In other words, let's say that person is eating, right? You're eating, so he doesn't need to wash his hands.
No, you both washing.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying, let's say that person is not eating, okay, and you're eating. He can wash you, but he doesn't have to wash himself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But if you both washing.
The reason why we're makpid in the morning regarding this, because of ruach ra. In the afternoon, there's no ruach ra. You know what I mean? When it comes to eating, there's no ruach ra there.
But it doesn't transfer to object, does it?
What does that mean?
It's only liquid. I think you mentioned it.
It's true, but apparently what happens is, that he gets a little bit wet, and then there could be some transfer there going on, because you have the liquid going on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. We're gonna get to that, by the way. We're gonna discuss that a little bit deeper. That whole thing about you have to first he washes and then he washes you, right? We're gonna get into that later on. Okay, so let's go to Shulchan Aruch. Zayin, right? Zayin. Okay. So we're in Siman Daled. Okay. So it says, Tov le'akpid, right? It's good to be machmir, it says, right? Not obligation. Good to be machmir. So whatever you do for seudah, try to also do it for the morning. What does that mean? Use a cup, and all those things, right? It's good to be machmir. Miu, right? Says the Rama, right? Miu enomeka. But however, it's not crucial. This one, right? Lo kli v'lo gavra. Not kli, not gavra. Gavra means a person. Koach gavra, right? Coming from a person, spilling from a person. V'shar dvarim apostim b'tinat yaseudah. Those things, they puzzle the seudah. When it comes to in the morning, it doesn't puzzle. So we see, right? According to halakha, you don't really need it, but it's good. It's good to use it, right? So good, yeah, good boy. You're a good boy. Don't get in trouble. How's that? Yeah, you had something to say?
Yeah. Just want to say the Bet Yosef's head to Yudalvet are combined.
Yes, I see that. Okay, got it. All right, let's go. Bet Yosef, right? Back to Bet Yosef. It says, V'chen katu b'sefer hazohar. Oh, here we go, Zohar, right? This is the first time we see the Zohar in the Bet Yosef. Huh? First time for everything, right? Okay. Parashat Vayeshev. That says in Vayeshev, al pasuk, Vayomer ha'ish nas'u mizeh, right? Regarding Yosef HaTzadik. They came looking for his brothers, So the Malach Gabriel told him, right? No, they already left your brothers, They left to somewhere else, They're going to kill you over there, right? When you get there, they'll kill you. Right, well, no problem. Ve'od ketuvim sham, right? Netilat yadayim shachrit chidushim. So he says there's a lot of chidushim in the Zohar about netilat yadayim shachrit, right? She'enam nimtzaim poskim. It's written not written in the poskim. Look what it says, right? Ve'zel shano. He brings the Zohar. Can you imagine? Rabbi Shimon patach, right? It says Rabbi Shimon erchatz b'nikayon kapai, right? This is the Teilim, right? I'll wash my hands in cleanliness. So it says in the Zohar, Raza de Milta. It says the secret of the secrets, right? Always the Zohar is talking about secrets. Hacha de let bar nash be'alma de la taim tama de mota belelia. So what does it mean? There's nobody who sleeps at night doesn't have taste of death, right? As we said, right? Like it's a form of death when you die, when you sleep at night, because some of your neshama leaves, right? The rucha de mesava sharia alahu gufa. So what happens is, right? The evil spirit dwells on him. Right, when he sleeps. That's what it says in Zohar Kadosh. My tama, what's the reason why? Begin the nishmata kadisha istalkat mine. Because the holy neshama has left him, So what happens? You know what happens, right? The higher part of the neshama leaves, but the nefesh stays, to keep you alive, so you shouldn't die altogether. You know what I mean? This is what happens. Okay. The al nishmata kadisha nafkat veistalkat mine sharia rucha mesava. So he says, because that higher part of the neshama is leaving the body, therefore comes the evil spirit and dwells on his body. Al gufa, that body. And then when the neshama comes back in the morning to the body, it abrat hahu zohama, v'ha itamar de doy devar nash zohama mitzvisavu. So what happens is, right, that when he comes back, his neshama comes back, that cleanses the body, from the evil spirit. So most of the body is liberated from the evil spirit. As you said, right? Where does it stay? Over here, right? It stays over here. But the rest of the body gets liberated by the return of the neshama. That's good enough already.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said the nefesh leaves and what stays behind?
The higher part, which is called the neshama, it leaves.
Okay.
And the nefesh stays behind to keep you alive.
Okay.
There's 3 parts of the neshama, according to Rambam, according to Kabbalah. That's the way it is. There's also 5, according to, if you the subdivisions, but the basic is 3. Is that what you're going to ask?
No,
Did I precede your question?
5.
Okay. It's 3, which is 5, 3 equals 5. You understand? 3 basic ones, and then the subdivisions also there. You understand? Okay, good. So,
quick question. You mentioned Zohama. That's the
I'm sorry?
You mentioned the word Zohama.
Zohama.
That's the bad spirit?
Where does it say Zohama? Did we say Zohama? I don't remember saying that. We said Rucha de Mesava. Right? Which is evil spirits, literally. Ruach Ra, right? That we call that Ruach Ra. Okay, yeah, could be. Yeah. I talk fast. I'm sorry. She doesn't like that either. I talk too fast. But okay, so I have to go a little bit slower. Oh, where does it say that? Oh, I see. Yes. First, it calls it evil spirit, and then when it goes away, it calls it Zohama. So it's basically the same thing. You know what I mean?
What's the difference?
It's the same thing, but it's just it's like a synonym, basically. What's a synonym? Pretty much, a little bit different, slightly different, but same idea. But in general, right, the word Zohama means like filth. So it could be spiritual, it could be physical as well. They're both called Zohama. That's the literal meaning of the word. But ruach mesava means not like that. It means like evil spirit, you know. But he's using it here, same context. You know what I mean? Okay, so yes, I'm sorry. Everything's good? Okay, good, everything's good. Okay, so
Each time.
Right, so it says, so it says over there, right? It was said that what? Where does it stay? The ruach ra? It stays only in the hands. The whole body is liberated, cleansed, right? It stays in the hands. So therefore, he says, don't touch your eyes with your hands, as we said yesterday, right? Because of the ruach ra, until he washes them. And when he watches them, kedin, right, like the proper way, kedin, right, the proper way. Ha'it kadash ve'ikre kadosh. Now he's called kadosh. This guy is a holy man. God bless you. So now it says kadosh. How does he have to sanctify himself? How does he do it? Right? What's the procedure? So it says you need one kli above and one kli below. We'll see what that means. Right? I see. So it's telling you, right, you gotta have one kli that the water comes from there, and one kli that receives the water, you know, the dirty water, right? So that's, you know, filthy water there, as we said, right? It has the ruach ra on it. You know, you gotta be careful with that stuff.
You know,
with us, you know, we have the sink till it goes down, you know, so we don't have a problem. But in those days, you know, they didn't have like that, the sewage.
One for the dirty water and the other for what?
Right. So the Zohar is telling you, right? One is to wash your hands, the kli, and one is to collect the water.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the idea. I'm sorry.
Like in my machani, 1 cup.
Yeah, pretty much. But you know, the truth is, for my machani, you don't need really the kli. You know, for my machani, you don't need a kli for that.
The water that's spilled in the sink, you're not allowed to touch utensils or anything else. Like if it's a kitchen.
Okay, good question what you're asking. Good question. So the truth is that, as we said, right, things are, in our times are a little bit different. What does that mean? The ruach ra is not so strong like it used to be, you know. But nevertheless, a person should try to be careful, you know, that the water shouldn't collect somewhere, you know, and stay there. You know what I mean? As a safeguard. So let everything go down, you know. I mean, if it touched some utensil and it dried off, we don't care about that. No big deal.
Just wash off again.
Watch off what? The utensil? If it dries, that's also good, you know. If it dries,
First will dry.
it's also fine. You know?
Well, wouldn't it dry? First will dry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You know, once it dries, it takes like a little while. You know, sometimes you know it could take a half hour. I don't know, whatever, to dry, whatever, right? So as long as it's wet, you know, it's wet. You know, so you gotta be a little bit careful. You know what I mean, we're not so crazy about this today as they used to be in those days, because as I said, you know, in those days it was like life and death situation. You know, you could die from that stuff. I mean, it was dangerous stuff. So you know, they say somebody who passes over it, you know, that water can get damaged. You know, this is the reason why we don't want to leave it anywhere. You know what I mean, so you gotta be careful with that. So best thing, you know, to let it drain down, and that's it. You're finished. You know, you don't have any problems. Okay, so so it says, right, so one, as we said, right, to collect the water, one is to use the water, right? Ha baruch, da baruch, da arur, right? Look what it says, right? That water is blessed. The water on the bottom is arur, is cursed, right? I love, you know, the language of the Zohar is very exciting, you know, very exhilarating. You know, it wakes up the neshama, you know, right? So he says, be careful with that dirty water, you know. Don't let it spill out in the house, you know, like, you know, so somebody should walk over it or something. You know what I mean, the la ikra behu barnash deha, right? Nobody should come close to that water, you know. Deha behu mikanshe setaradi lehon, right? V'yachol lekabala nizakin meinun main. What he says, right? Unbelievable, right? That a person can get damaged from that, right? So, as we said, right? Get injured. Right? Meinon mine mesavin ve'ad de'it avar zohama me'al yadoi. So he says until that ruach ra has come off his hands, lo yivarech. You should not bless yet. First, in other words, until you do it 3 times, don't make the blessing. Once and twice is not enough. Ve'okimna to begin kach ad la it kadash barnash yadoi. So we see from there that until you wash your hands with safra in the morning, you're tameh, you're impure.
Oh, wait. Doesn't the drying of the hands complete that? So shouldn't we say after we dry them?
Right. So you're talking more about the for the seudah, The truth is, in the morning, the drying of the hands is not really something so crucial as the seudah. As far as I remember, yeah. What's that?
You shouldn't. You just said you shouldn't wash until you're finished the act. I mean, you should say the bracha until you're finished.
Until you wash 3 times, right? That's what he's saying. He's not talking about drying, right? He's not talking about. Maybe we'll talk about that later. I don't know, but as far as I remember, he doesn't get into that. But anyway, right? So tameh v'kivan de'it kadash yikret tahor v'gin kach lo yitol ela min hayada de'idche v'kadmeta. Like as we said, right? Therefore, he says, don't be washed by somebody who didn't wash himself yet. That's what he's saying, right? First, he should wash himself, and then wash you. Right? The ktiv, as it says in the pasuk, the izah tahor al tameh, right? Brings this pasuk, right? The pure one should pour on the impure one, right? Da ikre tahor, that is called tahor. But da ikre tameh. So the one who already washed his hands is called tahor. The one who didn't wash his hands is called tameh. It says because of this. So therefore, you need 2 kelim, right? One above and one below. Today we have a sink, right? So that's our below. We don't need the kli below. Okay, good. Good. This one is holy. This one is impure. So he says, with that water, don't use it for anything. Get rid of it. Dangerous stuff. So what should you do with that water? Spill it out in a place where people don't pass by there. He says, don't spill in your house. In those days, you know what that meant, right? You would spill on the floor because they have dirt floors, So don't spill it on your dirt floor and say, oh yeah, it'll dry up, yeah, but meanwhile, it's sitting there like a puddle, it's dangerous. You shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Look what he says, right? When you split it on the ground, he says, you're going to get ruach ra in that place, warming there. Right? So it can do damage, If somebody passes over that, it can damage him.
Even dry?
No, we're talking about when it's still, still, yeah. Look what he says, right? But if the ground is like slanted, right? There's a slant there. The lo yitchazun shapir that velo yahib lon minishe charshaya yachlin le'ava shabehu. Ve'it madron tachat ar'a the lo yitchazun shapir velo yahib lon shilin shah. Right. So in other words, he says in a case like that where it's slanted, it's better. Because it doesn't stay there, it rolls down. You know what I mean? So this way, he says that if somebody's doing witchcraft on you, he's not going to be able to do it because it's slanted. So he says because this is like cursed water, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to cleanse the Jewish people. To be holy. It says, I'm sprinkling on you the whole pure waters. So it says Maran Bet Yosef, right? This is one part of the Zohar. So it says there's another part in Parshat Miketz also written there about this issue. Al pasuk Vayaker Yosef et Echav, that Yosef recognizes brothers. Katav od v'zeh shano, right? So he brings another Zohar over here, right? He's giving us a Zohar lesson tonight. But to the Baile, right? It says also he needs the Varnash. Person needs the Natla Yada Yamina Bismala. Begin the Shalta Yamina Al Semala. Oh, look what it says, right? So this is the reason why he says that you got to do we want the right hand to rule over the left hand, he says. So therefore, what should you do? Let the left hand first wash the right hand. That's the first one. This is why you know, right? Who's the boss? Who's the boss? The right is the boss. Right? Begin the ויצחי ימינה משמאלה, ובגין כך אילו נטילה, ועל דא מאן דנטיל ידו יטול ימינה בשמאלה, להשתתה ימינה על שמאלה, בגין דלה יאיב דוכתא יצר הרע לשלטה כלל. Look what he says, right? When you do it this way, that the left pours on the right, you're getting rid of the Yetzer Hara. In other words, the yamin, the right side, is overpowering the left side. So the Yetzer HaTov is overpowering. So, it's a deep thing what we do in the morning, washing the hands like in a sequence like that. It's a whole lumdus behind it. It's a whole theory behind this whole thing. So it's Veshli Timoa, the Parshat Bekuli. So then Maran says, right, looks like he knew the Zohar pretty good. He knows all these places. He knows all these. So he says, there's some wonderment, Why? Because in Parshat Bekuli, Teruma al Pasuk ve'asita shulchan, right, regarding this Pasuk over there, Katav, this language of the Zohar, Maya inon mimina ve'inon chedva miyad yahiv lismala ve'itdabku be'inon maim dechadan le ubatar itkalil ilu mimina ve'ita benukba ve'ahu chedva ve'simanech man denatal biyade yemina ve'mana kadma'a le'arka maim maya bismala ilu ve'lo bismala limina. By the way, is that my drink over there, the cup over there?
Yeah.
The other one.
Oh,
Is that mine?
That's mine.
Oh, this one is mine?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm just getting a little thirsty. Thank you so much. Okay, so read that again. Read the Zohar one more time. So Maran is saying, right, that there seems to be a contradiction here between that Zohar that we read and this Zohar over here now. So let's see what's going on. One more time. Yeah, so it says right again. So it says there's a wonder. The Parshat Veikuli Truma, right? Regarding this Parsha, Truma, Al Pasuk, regarding the verse which it says Shemot, Kaf Hey, Kaf Gimel, Ve'asita Shulchan. It says, right, do the table, right? What does that mean? The Mishkan, right? The table there for the bread. So it says Katav Vazileshono. Over there, the Zohar writes like this. By the way, you should know one thing you see from here. The Maran cares so much about what's written in the Zohar, right? This you see, right, against those people who are like Zohar deniers. He says, you ever meet some of these people? They say, oh, Zohar, I don't know where to come from. Seems like it's something, not true. Blah, blah, blah. You see that Maran believed in the Zohar. Otherwise, why did he bring it? You know what I mean? Maran and by the way, all the Mekubalim, whether it's the Arizal or Gaon Vilna, and all the Mekubalim, they believe in the Zohar. So people will come and say, like, oh, Zohar, maybe it's, some kind of a false, book, that was written by somebody, somebody just crept it in, into our lexicon. This is not correct to say like that, because all these big people, these big Mekubalim and big poskim, they believe in the Zohar, So how can you say that the Zohar is fake, It's a disgrace to talk like that.
I read something about the question of ownership, but like it's Moshe Ben Leon.
Right, yes.
Or is it Rajba? Who wrote the Zohar?
Right. So the truth is, they didn't write the Zohar. What they did was they compiled it, They had some kind of manuscripts, They put it together, What do you think? They wrote the Zohar? How could they write the Zohar? The Zohar comes from Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. You know what I mean? So this is not... so these people, who have these questions about the Zohar, I hate to say it, but they're like kofrim, they're like heretics, these people. Because they... By the way, you should know, there's a sect, like Yemenite, Temani, sect, that grew up from that place, that came out of that place, and they don't believe in the Zohar. Until this day, there are people who are in that sect, who live in Israel, and I heard, one time, that one of these guys, there's a name that they have, they call them a certain name. I don't remember the name. But anyway, these guys, they're religious. They're like religious people, but they don't believe in the Zohar, They think the Zohar is like some kind of a forgery. So
Forgery.
Yeah, so they think. So
that makes why would Zohar is like one of the how you say, like it's one of the Sfarim that we learn from the Torah. It's like from the Torah.
How can I tell you? So anyway, right? It's whole discussion, but anyway, remember that.
Zohar is a midrash.
Yeah. So one the son of the Rabbi Maran, Rabbi Yosef, the chief rabbi. He told us, that one time, Maran, when he was younger, him and Chacham Ben Zion Abba Shaul, the two big rabbis, they used to have a minyan together in the morning, like at one time. They were like neighbors, and when they lived in Bet Israel, like, Chacham Ben Zion lived upstairs and Maran lived downstairs, so like, they were like neighbors, the same building. So what happened was that, it must have been an interesting building, that building, right, to live in. So, so anyway, right, so what happened was that they used to bring a minyan together. So Maran used to learn like late nights, like he was late learner, and always in his life he was like that. So he used to go to sleep like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, barely get any sleep at night. That's the way it was. So what happened was that he used to, have a minyan like 7:30, 7:45, like, something like that, And one time they had a hard time getting the minyan together. They would like go out sometimes, like we are, like go on the street, looking for people.
Yeah.
Minyan, Asili, come. So they were standing there bringing some guy. So what happened was that they found one of these Temani guys, who doesn't believe in the Zohar. One of those guys, Can you imagine? They knew that he was like that. So they told the rabbi, they told Maran, they said, we have this guy's the 10th guy, So Maran said, no. He said, no, he doesn't count in the minyan, this guy.
What?
Yeah, so he said.
Because he doesn't.
Kofar, he's a kofar, yeah, he's a kofar. He refused to count him in the minyan.
How do they know that he didn't believe in Zohar?
They know him, they know him.
They
They know the guy. Yeah, they know.
Oh.
He was a neighborhood, local dude, local guy.
Oh.
That's what he wants. So can you imagine? The Maran said he doesn't count him in. Okay.
That's
Interesting, right? Okay. So okay.
I have a question. So Moshe de Leon was the transcriber of the Zohar, but who was the creator? Do we know?
So the truth is, right, that the Zohar, according to tradition, comes from Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai and his Talmidim, and his friends and Talmidim. They're the ones who wrote this book. And by the way, a lot of it is still lost. We don't have the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Zohar is a very large body of work today, we're talking like 20 volumes, in your current sets,
Yes.
But we don't really have all of it. Some of it is still lost. And the reason is because probably, Hashem doesn't want us to learn those secrets yet. We're not on the level to learn those things, So He didn't give us the whole Zohar. We only have a part of it. But nevertheless, right, what happened was that this rabbi you're mentioning, Moshe de Leon, he's the one who like compiled it, put it together, but he's not the one who wrote it because, otherwise he was just making up some stories, about Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, this would be ludicrous because all these rabbis, would have known that that's the case, these big chachamim. Why did they believe in the Zohar if that's the case? So we have no right to say. Right,
wait, I just remember, so Rabbi Kaplan.
Yeah.
He writes about it.
He writes about
the
this.
whole investigation. He writes this. There was a case of Rabbi Yitzchak of Akko.
Okay.
The blind, right?
I'm sorry. What was it again?
Yitzchak the blind.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And he did the investigation. He went to the city.
Yeah.
And he talked to the widow of Moshe de Leon, who claimed, he claimed that this was the work of.
Right. Yes.
And she says that he did it so people would buy it. So
right.
It was his work, but he
yeah.
got the inspiration, Ruach HaKodesh, but he would say that this is.
Yeah, I understand, but the truth is, we can't really accept that. There are deniers like this, who come with all kinds of things, but we can't really accept that, because, all these big chachamim, they would have known if it's not true.
Maybe it is true, but it came from, it came
that
from
was.
But
in other words, you're telling me that this guy got Ruach HaKodesh and he was able to write, I mean, I can't really tell you anything about that, but it seems like that's not the case. Very unlikely, by the way, that somebody could do such a thing like that. With Ruach HaKodesh, to write a book like this, just recreating, all kinds of things. That would make him like Moshe Rabbeinu, it's like, he's bringing from the heavens, some new Torah. That's not really, I don't think that's a correct way of looking at it. Anyway, the truth is, that we don't believe these kinds of testimonies, because they're not credible. I mean, like you went to some lady, you asked them this question, what is, what kind of thing is that, right? That's not the way you learn. It's not the way you learn Torah. But anyway, right, you see from all these big people, that they accepted, these people had malachim coming to them, Eliyahu Navi, things like this, what I mean? So what do you think? What, Eliyahu Navi didn't tell them that it was a fake book, if it was fake? What do you think? But how can a person, have such crazy thoughts in his head? You know, like that he thinks that all these rabbis were like, what they were misled, all these big chachamim. You know, like, so you think you're smarter than they are? Oh, I see. Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, you know, like okay. You know, I just wanted to touch on that because you know I hear some people today, you know, talking about this, and you know they're chatzuf. You know, the people are chutzpah. You know, the way they talk. You know, it's like they have no respect. You know, they have. Yeah.
Chutzpah, you mean that they don't believe in Zohar?
Yeah, they're you know they're very arrogant people. You know, like they think they know better than everybody. You know, yeah, I'm smarter than Gaon of Vilna. I'm smarter than Maran Bet Yosef. I'm smarter than the Arizal. You know, and all the Mekubalim. I know better than all of them. Come on, what are you know like? What are you putting yourself? You know, have a little bit of humility. You know, have a little bit. You know, I can't tell you. You know, but you know, there was also something else which was really funny. You know, that this was in our generation. When they started doing the art scroll books, you know, the Talmud, translating it into English, you know, so there was two brothers that were working on that project. And their name is Danziger, you know. One is Hillel Danziger, and then he has a brother, I don't forget his name. So anyway, these two guys are also known to be like Zohar deniers, you know, these two guys. They're from, they come from Lakewood, you know.
People that made art.
Yeah, not all of them, but two of them that were working on that team. That was a big team, you know, people, you know, it wasn't two people, it was like 200 people. You know what I mean? So two of them that were doing the job, Danziger brothers, you know, they don't believe in Zohar. They're one of those guys, you know. They don't believe in Kabbalah, whatever. I don't know. So one time they came to Moshe Feinstein, no? They asked Moshe Feinstein, they said, these two guys, you know, Danziger brothers, you know, they don't believe in the Zohar. Are they kofar? Are they apikoros? Or what are they? So, you know what he answered? He says, no, he says, they're not apikoros. He says, they're just a shote. They're idiots. You know? How can you
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
So Maran considered to be like kofar. Moshe Feinstein considered to be like idiots. You know, so whatever. Pick whichever one you like better.
Say that. How could they say
I can't tell you. It's all story. Okay, so anyway, right, getting back to what we said. So we're going back to the Zohar, right? Parshat Truma. Ala pasuk ve'asita shulchan. It says over there, you should make a table. Katav v'zeh leshono. This is the language of the Zohar. Maya inun mimina ve'inun chedva. So it says that water comes from the right side, and it's chedva means like joy, you know. Miyad yahi b'smala. It should put on the left side. So here we're talking just the opposite, right? Over there we said the left puts on the right. Here it's telling you the right puts on the left. So contradiction, right? The Torah apparently. I mean, so he says that water sticks to him. The chadande, they make him sameach, they make him happy. And he's included in the right side. And so he says then it wakes up the female side and that joy. So he says, what's siman? The person washes his hands with the right hand, b'mana, with a cup, first, le'arka maya bismala. So he says that you should pour the water, right, with your left hand, on the left hand, but not from the right to the left. So in other words, this is just the opposite of what we saw in the other Zohar. And so Maran is saying, right, how do you reconcile these two Zohars over here? There's a contradiction apparently.
So it's like taking the cleave from your right hand, give it to the left, and you just pour it down on the right. And
the other one says just the opposite, right? From left to right. So which one is the right one? So he's doing from right to left. So he says, because of this, so this way, right, the water comes from the left side, which is the Yitzhara, because he puts water on it. So then it goes into the female, right, which is water, whatever. Okay, so in other words, so says Maran, these two Zohars apparently contradict each other. That's what it is, you know, the contradiction. So it says possible to say like this, you know, maybe there's a difference between Netilat Yadayim in the morning, Netilat Yadayim Dechila, or for eating. Netilat Yadayim, the Shachrit, when it comes to Shachrit, since they're Tameh from the Ruach Ra'ah, the Sharia Lai, which dwells on them, if you would do, right, first, with the right hand, do the left hand, So that shows, right, that what the left hand is the ikar. It rules over the right. You don't want that. We don't want the left to rule. Right? Therefore, it says, so therefore, it says, what you got to do is you got to wash the right hand, from the left hand. Like we saw in Parashat Vayeshev in the Zohar. When it comes to netilat yadayim of eating, his hands are already pure as it is. There's no ruach ra there anymore. He's just doing this for tosefet, additional kedusha, right? We're in the lecture now. Excuse me. We'll be finished. We'll be finished in 10 minutes. We're still in lecture. Yes. 15 minutes. Thank you. So we have this lady that wants to convert. So anyway, right, as we said, so Maran is saying maybe for eating it's different, because over there your hands they're not tameh. He's just doing it for additional kedusha. Maybe you have to do the left from the right. Like it says in Parashat Truma. So he says, what? We can explain like this. First, you should be, do the right hand. Wash the right hand, miyad small, from the left hand. Whether it's for shachrit or also for the achila. So it's the same. Whether it's for the eating or for the shachrit, we take the left and wash the right. Like it's written in Parashat Vayeshev. And now what it says in Parashat Truma, man de natil. For where the person washes his hands, takes water in his hands. It means, you know what it means? To take the kli with the right hand. See what he's saying? So there's no contradiction. Here the Zohar is talking about something else. When you fill up the water, right, in the cup, what you should do is, even though you're going to spill from the left to the right, the first thing you're going to do, but you should pick it up with your right and give it to the left, and then spill it to the right. Is this the way you guys do it?
Yeah,
this is the way to do it.
I also do like this. That after that, just if I'm right, I take from the left, I place it down.
Oh.
And I just take it from the right, and I take with my right hand, I just pour it on the left. Is that right? Correct?
I'm sorry. Again, what was that again?
Like from the right.
You put it down every time.
After the.
Why do you put it down?
I read that.
I'm just curious. Is that correct way?
Okay, I would have to check that. I don't know. I never heard that.
I think I read that.
Where'd you see that? Okay, interesting. We'll check that out later.
It's another capitalistic idea.
All right. The question is it the way to do it, or is it the accepted way?
And I'm just curious if it's.
We'll have to check that. Gotta check it out. Yeah.
Should not be like taking from the left hand. And so after the left hand is.
But where does it say that? That's the question.
I think it was in the.
Right. But what's the source? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, right. We'll see. We'll check that out. I do have the Yalkut Yosef, by the way, on my computer. I have it. Okay. So anyway, right. Let's just finish this off. So it says. ומש כתב לא ייטול אלא מן ידד יד גדית כבגבינה, הכינה מדיתה בגמה פרק 3 יום שאוכלו, אל תיטול ממי שלא נטל ידיו שחית. So what it means, right, as we said, that you shouldn't take washing from somebody who hasn't washed himself. Right? That's what it means, the Zohar. So basically, right, this is what we have, right, just to sum it up. We have, the Zohar is telling you, like, pick it up with your right after you fill it up. Pick it up with your right, give it to the left, and then wash the right first. This is the proper way to do it. Okay, so we'll do the rest later, the rest we'll do next time. Yeah, should we do it now? Okay, if you no problem, I'm happy. You guys are so enthusiastic. Who can stop you? Nobody can stop you, believe me. No force in the world can stop you. Okay, got it. Okay. Now you guys are like brothers all of a sudden. Okay, because your brother isn't here. You need another brother. That's why.
I mean, since we were both Kohanim, we consider you the brothers, you know.
That's true. Okay, you got a point over there. Okay, so we're doing what? Chet,
Yes.
Right. So Netilat Yadayim Shachrit and Notini Lagabe Karka, that's the one?
One more time, sorry.
Netilat Yadayim Shachrit.
Okay, yeah.
Right? We don't pour it on the ground, right? We don't do that. You gotta put it into kli, right? So the sink is also like a kli, so it's good. Baruch Hashem, we're good with that. As we said, even though we put it into the sink, but if there's some kind of a kli in the sink, try not to, it shouldn't get stuck there, like the kli, make sure that it goes down. It should be drained, that's the thing, right? Chazak Baruch, Laila Tov. We have another one? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. Okay, here we go. Maim sher netilat yadayim shachrit. Right, it says maim of netilat in the morning. Asur lehanot mehem. You're not allowed to use it for any purpose, for any benefit. V'lo yishpechem bebait. Don't spill it out in the house. V'lo b'makom shovrim sham bnei adam. And don't spill it out in a place where people are passing there. People get damaged from that, as we said, right? Okay, beautiful. Next one. Yud. So it says, Notel kli shel maim biad yamino, right? So take it with the right hand, as we said. This morning. Give it to the left hand. So you're going to pour on the right first. Pick it up with your right, give it to the left, and pour it on the right. Is that it? That's it? We're done?
And one more.
One more. Okay, you got it. All right, you guys got a good one today. Don't wash from somebody who didn't wash his hands yet. Not a good idea, right? This is not the way to do it.
And I have a question. So,
thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Yitzhak. God bless you.
Really quick question.
Yes. Yes, I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I just plugged out the internet.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Chazak Baruch. Thanks for coming. All the best. Come more often.
Yeah, of course.
God bless.
Do you want to connect the Zoom again?
I'm gonna call her. It's okay.
Right.
To reconnect it. Okay, I'll be right there. To reconnect.